My little brother called me at 2 a.m. crying, begging me not to tell mom what he found in the attic. I drove 4 hours that night. I wish I never had. My phone rang at 2:14 a.m., Jake's name on the screen. My 12-year-old brother never calls me. He texts memes. He sends TikTok. He doesn't call, and he definitely doesn't call crying. Sissy? His voice was so small. Please come home. Please don't tell mom. Jake, what's wrong? Where are you? The attic. I can't leave it up here. Please just come. He hung up. I was at college 4 hours away. I threw on sweatpants, grabbed my keys, and drove through the night on 3 Red Bulls and pure panic. I called him 12 times, straight to voicemail. I called mom's landline. No answer. Mom works nights at the hospital. Jake was alone in the house. I pulled into our driveway at 6:17 a.m. The sky was that weird purple color before sunrise. Mom's car wasn't home yet. I used my old key, and the house was completely silent. Too silent. Jake? Nothing. The attic hold-down ladder was open in the hallway ceiling. That ladder hadn't been touched in years. Mom kept it chained because Jake was afraid of the attic when he was little. The chain was cut. Bolt cutters on the floor. My dad's old bolt cutters from the garage. My dad died 4 years ago. Jake, I'm coming up. I climbed. The attic was freezing even though it was July. Jake was sitting on the floor in his pajamas, knees to his chest, staring at an open cardboard box. He'd been up there for hours. His lips were almost blue. Jake, look at me. He didn't. He just pointed at the box. I walked over. Inside were letters, hundreds of them, rubber banded in stacks, all addressed to my father, all from the same woman, dated from 1998 all the way to 2021, 3 months before he died. I picked one up. My hands were shaking. Read the top one, Jake whispered. I did. I wish I hadn't. It wasn't a love letter. It was worse. It was from a woman named Denise, and she was thanking my father for the monthly payment, for our son's tuition, for our son's braces, for our son's baseball camp. There was a photo paperclip to the letter. A boy, maybe 15 in the picture. He had my father's jawline, my father's cowlick, my exact same crooked smile. I sat down on the attic floor because my legs stopped working. I have a brother, Jake said, not a question. A real brother, before me. Jake, there's more. He pushed another stack toward me. These weren't from Denise. These were from my mom. Letters she'd written but never sent. Drafts, dozens of them, going back years. She knew. She'd known the entire time. She'd been writing to this other woman for a decade and never mailed a single letter. The last draft was dated 2 weeks ago. It said, he's 17 now. He deserves to know his siblings. I can't carry this for you anymore, Robert. I'm telling them on Jake's birthday. Jake's birthday was in 9 days. Headlights swept across the attic window. Mom was home from her shift. Sissy, Jake said, grabbing my wrist. I don't want to ruin her birthday plan, but I need to know him. Please. I've never had a big brother. I looked at my little brother, frozen and shaking and 12 years old, holding the weight of our family's biggest secret in his lap, and I made a decision. I texted mom from the driveway. I came home to surprise you. Jake and I made breakfast. Come straight to the kitchen. We climbed down. We closed the attic. We put the chain back on, twisted so it looked intact. I hid the bolt cutters in my trunk. Mom walked in exhausted from her shift and burst into tears because both her kids were standing in her kitchen making pancakes at 6:45 in the morning. She hugged us for a full minute. 9 days later, on Jake's 13th birthday, after the cake, my mom stood up at the table and said, I have something to tell you both, something your father should have told you a long time ago. Jake reached under the table and squeezed my hand hard. I already know, Mom, he said quietly, and I want to meet him. She dropped her fork. She stared at us. And then she did something I'll never forget. She laughed and cried at the same time and said the words that changed everything. He's in the car outside. I was going to ask if you wanted to meet him today. His name is Ethan. He's 17. He looks exactly like our dad. He's been sitting in our mom's car in the driveway for the last hour, just as terrified as we were. Jake ran, didn't walk, ran out the front door in his socks. I watched from the window as my 12-year-old little brother threw himself into the arms of a brother he'd only known about for 9 days. Ethan dropped to his knees on the driveway and held him. My mom came up behind me and whispered, your father was a complicated man, but love multiplies, baby. It never divides. I have 2 brothers now, and somehow, impossibly, our family got bigger the day we learned it had been broken all along.